Hi guys, as you can see, today I have an interview like a Kiss Global. So for Kiss Global, I have an interview, and this is a second round. And as you can see, also in my previous video, this is my previous video for this first round. So here you can see, I think I have got selected in first round, and I have shortlisted for first round. So after shortlisting, I got one more round, that is a manager round, and today I have an interview. So you can see 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. I have interview Friday 29 October. So let's join the meeting and we'll see uh, how it's going on. Yeah, hi.
Oh, hello.
Yeah,
Question.
hi.
Uh,
Hi.
how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. What about you?
I'm good. We see your video, please.
Yeah, yeah. Can you see me?
Yes. So, Professor, could you give me a brief overview of your recent work, your technical skills, and what kind of work you do?
Yes, my recent work, like I'm working for Sapiens insurance project, and my totally is technology I'm using here: Java, Hibernate, XML, REST web services, and MySQL I'm using. And work experience, I have total 5.5 year of experience, and in this company, Sapiens company, I'm working from last 1 year. And my role is a totally backend developer, like a new kind of enhancement, development, functionality issue, bug fixing, some business logic, and some validation logic. That kind of work I used to do on daily basis.
Okay. So, you've been working with microservice.
Microservice, I have worked for previous company, like in tech. When I was in Tech Mahindra, I was working in microservice services. But in Sapiens, they are not using microservice. I'm using here REST API.
Okay. Right. And what kind of work are you looking for?
Sorry, work,
What
I'm
kind of
looking
work?
a new technology. The main purpose of job looking is like a, I'm looking new technology like a microservices, Spring, Hibernate, all these things. But when I joined this company, I realized the company, they are using very old technology, and project is also legacy project. So after that, I feel, after joining, I feel, I realized like a, uh, mm, I have joined the company, and I cannot leave the company within a 2 months. Also, I have to spend at least 1 year. So that's why I'm planning to leave the company because of technology issue.
So, why didn't you propose modernizing the app?
Sorry, why did, because the company, that is they are using own framework, and that own framework, all the people they are using, we cannot propose them, because we are a developer. If someone has to propose them, that will be a BA or some technical architecture. But we are a developer, we could not go ahead and we can ask, yeah, this
This is
technology. Yeah.
okay. So this is talking. You're talking about what Sapiens Insurance, huh?
Yes, yes.
But Sapiens is your employer, right?
Yes, yes.
And Sapiens is also your client.
Yes, yes, correct.
Yeah. How does that work? I mean,
Sorry,
is this a product or you're
this is
working?
a product based company. Product based company.
Okay, so you're working on their own product.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Then it should be easier, no, to change the technology.
Yeah, but when I'll be a technical architecture, then I can propose this thing. But I'm as a developer, have to learn their own technology, that legacy framework, that one I have to learn, because still I'm facing issue. They are using own framework and all these things. Totally, it's a change from like other 5 years I have experience, and after going in this company, totally it's a changing the totally architecture also is getting changed. So it's very difficult to manage for me also. But after 1 year, I'm able to work. I'm able to deliver the most of the user story. But after 5 years also, if I'll work in this company, then I'll feel like technology wise I'm lacking somewhere.
Okay. But a lot of projects are like that. They're changing. They have been built already. They are on legacy, some what we call legacy technology, but they need to be modernized properly.
Yes, yes,
So you will find yourself very often in that sort of situation. You
yes,
have to work on a legacy applications and modernize it.
yeah.
So would you be open for that kind of project or what?
I'm open. I'm open for that.
For what? For working on a legacy app and
No,
modernizing
for
it?
for legacy, that's fine. Okay, but I want some new technology also. Legacy I'm using, but I want to learn some new technology. If I'm not getting a chance to learn also, and after 5 years, if I realize I'm I'm lacking somewhere in technology wise, then it will be very difficult for me to become a professional in technical. So here they are using, but some technology also they have to use latest technology, right? That is the thing. Only.
Hmm. So do you do any learning from apart from your job? Or?
Yes, yes, I should learn some new feature in Java 8. I should learn because I used to spend some time in learning also.
I mean, what about technologies as a whole? Like
Technology, yeah, I'm talking
different
about
frameworks or
technology.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean like an entire framework or a stack for technology. Do you learn that on your own?
Like a Spring Boot,
Or
I
you
have
guys
learned
make
my
your
own, and after that, I have worked in a Tech Mahindra company. So it was not very difficult for me when I was working. So Spring Boot, I learned myself only. Yeah.
oh right. So you have worked on microservices, right? How many
Yes.
microservices have you developed from scratch?
From scratch, if you see like it, when I was in Tech Mahindra, three microservices I have developed.
From scratch.
Yeah.
If you have a scenario where one microservice needs data from another microservice, right? How do
Yes,
you
yes,
implement that?
yes. For that one, we have to call we have to create a one bean, REST template object bean, and that bean we have to call with that bean with that object we have to call get for object method, and that object method we have to pass the URL, and whatever we have a parameter, that one we have to pass, and we have to take the response from that first microservice we are calling, and after taking a response, whatever we are getting like a list kind of response, I mean that list we have to pass in second microservices. So similarly we can call also get, we have also one more body to mono we have, or get for object also we can call, we can get the classes also, we can get the response using second microservices.
Okay. But what if you have to implement a non-blocking manner? There are any patterns where you can get the data without actually calling the service?
Non-blocking, come again,
So, see, you don't have to make the call to get the data whenever the data is required because
yes,
that
yes,
you need to incur the cost of making a call. Right?
yes, yes,
And there may be many such microservices to call, right?
yes, yes.
Right. So, do you have any, you know of any other pattern that you can overhead of calling microservice, right? Messaging based pattern,
I know these
non-block.
two only, body to mono and get for object we are calling, and after that also multiple method is multiple we are calling method also. I could not remember the name also. What is exactly?
Okay. Have you used a database per service pattern or a shared database pattern?
Database this service pattern.
Database per service pattern.
Yes.
And you're using what JPA for persistent? Stream
Hibernate.
data JPA?
Hibernate.
Hibernate.
Yeah.
Hibernate what? Hibernate template or
Hibernate template also we are using. Session factory also we are using.
efficient factory.
Yeah.
Okay. If you have to implement transactions, right?
Yes.
How do you do that? So it's a
Uh,
Hibernate.
mm,
Let's say there are two Hibernate calls.
okay.
You want to include them in a single transaction.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
For that one, we have to implement that bean at the rate bean annotation, and we have to write it one transaction manager. Inside the transaction manager, we are writing transaction manager aware something we are writing, and after that, that transaction we are going to handle at service layer. So we are going to write one annotation for that at the rate transactional, and we are giving also what scope is a scope is a read only, write only, or other also we have a other scope also we have. So that scope we are going to define at service layer only at the rate by
Okay.
using annotation at the rate transactional.
What other configuration do you need for?
Other configuration
How about configuring a transaction manager?
other
Transaction
configuration
manager.
like a one is a bean one is a annotation, and one is some transactional scope is there like a read write or
No, but for transactions to work, don't you need a transaction manager?
yeah, that's why I told transaction manager. I told we need a bean for that transaction manager, and inside the bean we are going to write some transaction manager aware something, context aware something. We are going to write. I forgot the name, but we are writing a transaction manager aware. With that bean, we are going to perform and in service layer all this thing.
What transaction manager would you use for this use case?
Uh, Being context aware something is there.
No, no. Which transaction manager would you use for this case? Right, when you're working with Hibernate.
Transaction manager I'll use like a scope equal to we have a four operation like isolation, durability, uh, isolation, durability. Also, we automicity. Also, we have so
No, no. Those are characteristics of a transaction, right? My
yes, yes.
question is when you define the transaction manager bean, which transaction manager do you
Oh yeah, I forgot that
use?
name. Inside the bean, we are defining some transaction context bean aware. I forgot the exactly name, but some we are writing and we are attaching. I think we are just associating with session factory also in that.
Hmm. So you're comfortable with REST API
Yes,
design,
yes,
right?
yes, yes,
You have designed REST API.
yes, yes.
So what are the characteristics of a RESTful API? When do you
The
call an API RESTful?
The main character of RESTful API, it will take your request by using REST controller, at the rate REST controller, and it will take the
No,
request
I mean
and
RESTful API doesn't have anything to do with the framework. Right? REST controller is a Spring
okay.
concept. Right?
So RESTful API means we are just going to take a request by using request mapping, at the rate request mapping, and we are sending a response. The main character is taking the request, sending the response, and the response we can send also JSON, XML. We can send.
No, but that's true for any API. No? It takes request and
No,
sends.
if you are talking about the SOAP API, we can get the data in visual format, not XML format. But REST API, we have a one advantage like we can generate the data like a JSON format, text format, XML format. That is a main advantage, and we can produce.
How do you support that? How do you support multiple formats for a request?
How do you? Sorry, come again.
How do you support multiple formats for a
Yeah,
request?
for multiple formats, I'm taking one request, and we have a producer and consumer. So consumer, I'm just trying to take the data, and producer, I'm just putting producer equal to application dot JSON. So that data,
Hmm.
whatever that data is coming, that will be produced in JSON format. So application dot I'll put like a application dot txt, then it will produce in txt format. So we have to use producer annotation one at
That is
MATLAB.
for response.
Yes.
What about request?
Or for request we can take like a direct request parameter only, and request parameter request body we can take, sorry, request body, at the request body we can take the method param url also, and that url we can take the parameter from the url itself, and we can process the inside the method. Second
No,
volume.
I mean how do you handle different request formats?
How?
That's the question, right? You said supporting multiple formats is a characteristic of REST APIs.
Yes.
The question is how you handle multiple formats.
Multiple format, like I have a supposed 5 URL, and that 5 URL, one of the URL is asking to print a PDF, one of the URL is asking to send the data in JSON format. So while handling the request by request mapping only, I'll take what kind of a URL is there, and that URL what I'll take the parameter, and I'll for that URL I'm going to send the data as a requested, like a PDF is requested, then I'm going to send the data as a producer in PDF format. So according to the URL, I'll come to know, like a query parameter also. I can pass the flag also. What kind of a data client is asking?
Okay. But the REST principle says that a single endpoint can support different formats, right? If you have different URLs for different formats, and that's not REST.
Uh, yes, but
If you just say slash PDF and slash XML and slash Excel, whatever, that's not really REST.
yes, but other way, if you are taking the request, then we will send a multiple in one response is not possible. Response we are setting the response dot set content type, and that content type either we can send text, XML, any one format we can send. So
But
okay,
how do you decide which one, right? So
yeah,
let's say there is one service you have written, and there are
yes,
two clients, right?
yes,
One client works with JSON, right? Let's say
okay,
it's a JavaScript in a browser.
okay,
Another client works with XML.
okay.
They both want to work with your API.
So what I'll do,
How do you support?
I can do one thing. I can do one thing. I'll take the one API. I'll create a one request body, and inside some flag I'll use. Okay, which client what they are going to ask. Like I'll take the query param. Okay, query param value, and I'm using only one method. Inside the method, I'll check what kind of a response they want. They want. So for that one, I'll send a response set response dot set content type. If that client is asking that PDF, then I'll send a response dot set content type PDF. Otherwise, JSON I'll send it, but one method will be there only, one request body will be there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really required. HTTP ports are way to specify which one.
Yeah,
One data separate.
yeah.
Right. So I'm going to give you a few use cases, and you need to tell me the API design for that, a RESTful API design for that.
RESTful API design, we have a
No,
normal
no, I'm going to give you the use case for that.
okay, okay,
I'm going to give you the use case. And you need to give me a RESTful API design and only the API contract. Right? You don't want the implementation.
okay,
Only only things which are caller of the API needs.
okay, okay,
Okay, so the requirements are like this, right? You need the ability to create, update, retrieve, and delete products
okay,
in the system.
okay.
Yeah. What APIs what RESTful APIs would you design for this?
Yes, for this one, create, I'll use uh, we have an annotation like a post annotation which will create your REST
No,
API.
no, no annotations. Like,
Hmm.
forget framework.
Okay,
Just uh, just things which a caller needs to know.
okay.
Contract.
Request mapping, post mapping, put mapping. Uh, uh, so caller will come to know like a whenever he if you want to update, create anything, then we have to use request mapping, put mapping, get mapping, post mapping. This annotation we have to use.
But that's on your implementation side. Right?
Yes, yes.
I'm following your API. I don't. I don't have nothing to do with annotation.
So API we can give, okay, for caller I can call the API, like I can give the local host or any server name, that port name, and after that some API I'll give, and after that I can give aid request or something I'll give for adding the request, and from I'll I'll pass some URL.
But for this given requirements, what APIs could you design? That's the question.
For given requirement, what API? Okay, for given requirement, I'll design whatever we have a local host server name. Okay, and slash after that API and slash add data. For if you want to customer want to add the data, I'll define the slash add data, update data, and delete the data, and uh, update, delete, edit. Yeah, this one I can define it. This URL I'll define it, and inside the URL I'll define the like a method also, what method we need to call,
Method. Or
like
the
a,
method is implementation, right? You're not
yeah, it's implementation, but
API.
when we are following like a one document, that document we are just giving the request information, like what kind of a request URL should be there for REST API, what kind of a parameter we are going to pass, and how we are going to get the response. So this is important: request, parameter, and response. So this need to be designed in document.
Right. So I mean, so can you take each requirement one by one and say what API contact?
Yeah, for adding we are just creating one URL, and just we'll send, tell
So for
the,
adding a product,
yeah,
creating a product.
yeah, for adding a product, just I'll write a slash API, like a first server name slash API slash add product name, and after that what kind of data we are expecting, we are going to pass in body form, not a header for in header. So that kind of a data, like a first name, last name, is middle name, all these things we are information we are going to pass in the body format. So this
Hmm.
parameter will ask, this parameter is the input parameter for this URL. For add,
Right.
for update, we
No,
are
but
going,
no, sorry. What is the HTTP method? That's the
HTTP
topic here.
method will be for this one. We have for method will be like add product. Method will be add product only.
No, no, HTTP method.
HTTP method is be request only.
Sorry, HTTP methods would mean post port
Sorry,
get tracks.
post will be there, because it's going to create, it's a post. It's a, I thought
Right.
like a you means you are asking some like a different thing. So post we are going to use in our application. We are going to use post mapping.
No, no,
So
that's what the client should use, right? To call
yes,
that.
yes, yes.
See, we are only talking about the design, right? We're not talking about
Yes, so for that
implementing
one it
nothing.
will use a post, and updating one it will use put, and there it will ask what kind, for updating we'll pass server name, API, and update product, and method will be put, and what kind of a parameter we are going to pass. So only we can pass one primary key for update, and what data we are going to update, that data we have to provide. So that will be as a input parameter. And delete, we are just going to write server name, API, and delete product, and what kind of data we are going to delete, we have to pass as a primary key, and that product, what kind of a data we want to going to delete in that column or row. So we have that, for that one we are using delete mapping, delete yeah.
So, Prasanna, you know what a thread dump is? What is it used for?
Sorry, come again.
What is a thread dump?
Oh yeah, trade dump, I know. Trade dump is like suppose you are running one application, and that application is giving out of memory error. So it's
Hmm.
taking more memory in your like a server. So we have to take which process, means we have to come to know which process is taking too much time to is blocking the other resources. So for that one we are going to take that thread dump file, and that dump file we have a one graph we'll take in we have a one in java folder, we have a one file name. From that file name, if we have to import, we have to import that thread dump file, and that file it will tell you the graph. This process is going to take this much time, and like from graph you'll come to know this process is going to take that much time. So that's why if sometime application is getting down or sometimes it's taking too much time, then we are taking the thread dump from the server file and we are trying to check in our local, and from there we'll come to know this process is taking too much time. It's locking the some functionality, is locking the functionality, and another process is getting blocked because of that functional locking the functionality. So for that one again, from there we are trying to find back we used to do, and we used to try to find the solutions for that one.
Do you really use it for an out of memory error investigation?
Out of memory or not, out of memory error not sure, but I have used 2 3 times. I remember uh, s- server was getting blocked and it was not processing anything like so on that time I have used this one.
Okay. So how do you take a threat?
File we used to ask people from the production people one file they used to provide me, okay, and that file we
No,
have,
no, I mean,
yeah.
given a Java process, how do you get threat?
Okay, one command is there to get the thread dump file. We have a one command. I forgot the name. Also, some one line command is there. We have to put that command, and we used to get a thread dump file. I forgot the command name. Actually, in Tech Mahindra, it's a long back. So from one
Uh-huh.
command, we used to get that thread dump file. I remember completely.
All right, Prasanna, that's all the questions I have for you. Do you have any questions for me?
Uh, mm, no, nothing. Actually, I just want to know. Uh, if I'll get selected in this round, if I don't know whether I'll get selected or not. If I'll get selected, do you have any other like another round? What kind of a round is there if I'll get selected? Just I want to know.
Yeah, if you get selected, then there will be more rounds.
Okay, okay,
Yes.
fine. Thank you. That's it only.
Thank you.
Okay. तो गाइज जैसा कि आप लोग देख सकते हैं कि इंटरव्यू अच्छा नहीं गया है सेकेंड राउंड का, बट वेट करते हैं इसका फीडबैक का।